Hi, I'm Virginia from Right Clinic, and here with me today is Sophia Urner, and she is a freelance scientific medical writer. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sophia.
Hi, Virginia. Thanks for the invitation. I'm super excited to be here on your podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a pleasure. I really enjoy following you on LinkedIn and learning from you and seeing everything that you post. So I thought it would be great for our audience to meet you and learn from you too.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah. So, what do you do and how did you get into it?
Well, currently I'm running my own freelance scientific and medical writing business, and I'm providing medical writing services to companies, agencies, and sometimes also universities. And I would say the very beginning of my career is quite typical for an academic career. So I studied biology, then I did my PhD in basic cardiovascular biology, and after that I worked as a postdoc for more than 4 years. And actually, my last postdoc position was at the German Diabetes Center, where I established a whole new research group for diabetic nephropathy together with my supervisor from Melbourne, which was really exciting, but also challenging. During my academic career, I also had the chance to work abroad at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville in the US and Monash University in Melbourne. So all in all, my academic career was really great and I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot. But at some point, my postdoc contract was about to run out, and I kind of felt like I want to do something different. I want to choose a different path. And, before my contract ran out, I started to do some research on what I can actually do with a PhD and the passion for scientific writing. Because since my PhD, I have realized that what I really enjoyed most about research was actually not being in the lab and not designing the experiments, but it was really, sitting down and doing the literature research, collecting the information and writing about it. So I kind of wanted to do this. And then I found out about the profession as a medical writer, and I didn't know about it. And so the moment I have read that you can actually be a medical writer as a freelancer, I kind of freaked out and I really knew, okay, this is my next step. And, I didn't extend my postdoc contract, and instead I took some time to establish a bit of a foundation for my freelance business. So back then I had the chance to actually work with a business coach that was paid by the German government. And that was really great because he taught me a lot about the basics of running a business. We designed a business plan that then I was actually able to submit to apply for funding as a self-employed person. And, I built a little website. And then the other thing I have done before actually starting was I went to an EMVA conference, the one in Berlin. And so that was really important because there I, for the first time, saw people who would actually be medical writers and they seemed all happy. And, it was great. So yeah, I updated my LinkedIn profile and I just started. And this is now 1 year and 3 months ago. And since then, I would say I've been a very happy freelance medical writer.
There's an amazing story. You did so much in your academic career, and then you took the jump at the right time when you felt that you had achieved a lot and you were really excited with the projects and you didn't need to extend your postdoc. So
Yeah.
that's a really pivotal moment, especially when you spent so long in academia and then you decided you wanted to get out there and do something different.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how do you find your and also just to add that it's very interesting that you got in contact with a business coach to
Mm.
also learn how to run your own business and how to be
Understood.
self-employed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so how do you find your clients now, and what did that feel like when you got your first client?
It was amazing. It was like, I think my first client, I got 3 weeks after I have officially started, and I was like super excited. And it was really important to get a client quite early, I think, because this gave me the feeling, okay, oh, this can actually work. So it was a really good start. And I think most of my clients, they find me on LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is a super important platform. I have my own website, although I don't know how many people really find me just via the website, but I think it's good to have it because it gives the client a bit of a feeling that, okay, she's really serious about their job. She's doing this as a full-time profession. And, if I have like a bit of time, space, I also reach out to potential clients by myself. And this works very well for me as well.
So do you normally send them a message or do you go through their website? How do you normally reach out?
So this was like, I remember in the beginning of the year in January, it was a bit more quiet here. So I kind of looked, okay, I was looking for potential clients and I went on their websites and then I was just sending out emails to potential collaborators. And what I have done and what worked very well for me is I always attach my CV. And I think this is a really good thing to do. So if I could give an advice, I would always say, okay, have your CV updated. And, in the CV or extra, put some, writing samples. Or in my case, I also have obviously my scientific publications in the CV. So I think this is really good for the client to immediately see, oh, wow, she has some expertise here.
Amazing. That's really good advice. So always have some writing samples with your CV or maybe even a portfolio. Sometimes we recommend, having a link that you can click on to see some of your samples. And I'm sure you are, you have all of your publications somewhere that someone can see with your name on it, which is really
Yeah.
impressive and amazing. And what kind of clients do you work for? So is it mainly pharmaceuticals or who is your kind of client persona, if you like?
So most of my clients at the moment are agencies, medcoms agencies, and obviously in there I work a lot, like I prepare a lot of content for pharmaceutical companies. I also work with smaller companies like healthcare companies and publishers also, and very, very rarely universities.
Amazing. So that's a good collection of clients to have.
Yeah, yeah.
And how much of your week do you spend working, and how much of it do you spend kind of doing admin or looking for new clients, or just taking a break like you should?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, this is a really good question because I think if you start your own like business, freelance business, I think it's really important to understand, okay, normally you think we work 40 hours, so I can, count with 40 billable hours, which is normally not really the case because you always need to do emails, you need to do invoices, you need to do accounting stuff. So all these things obviously take up time. And for me, it kind of depends on the phase. If I have a really busy working time and I'm fully booked with projects, I really try to minimize emailing, marketing, all these things. So I do them really late in the evening or on the weekend. So it really depends. And then if I have a bit less work to do, I try to really work on the marketing side or, all these things. So it depends. But in busy times, I would say I'm still able to kind of work 90% really on the medical writing and then 10 to 20% maybe just doing all the administrative work.
I like that. It's very realistic as well to think that, there's a big difference between being employed and then all of your hours are you
Yeah,
just have to work, and
yeah,
then being freelance where you have that admin time to make sure that you are able to stay in business and then
yeah,
also do the work that you have been chasing from
yeah,
clients. So thank you for sharing that. That's really insightful. So
yeah.
what do you know now that you wish you knew earlier to get a head start in being a freelancer?
That is a really good question. And, if I think back how I transitioned from academia to freelance medical writing, I think I must say that I have been really lucky by, on the one hand, having had this possibility to work with a business coach who kind of prepared me to what to expect in terms of finances, taxes, accounting, invoicing, legal stuff, And then on the other hand, what was really good for me was to go to the EMBA conference and really talk to medical writers. In there, I really learned, okay, what does a medical writer really do? Like what type of documents can you do? And who do you really work with? How do you communicate with clients? All these things I have learned there. So I would say this gave me really, really a good preparation before I actually started in terms of I kind of knew what to expect. And thinking back now, I think I had a really smooth start, and it kind of I didn't have bad surprises, because I think I've been lucky to be so well prepared. If I think back of one thing that I think I have done a bit different in the beginning versus now, and what I would really recommend to everyone is to really have an open, clear, and honest communication with your clients. So I remember in the beginning, I was kind of insecure of how exactly to say, okay, this I have expertise in this, but here I haven't done this yet, this type of work. And so I have learned with the time that really now when I'm meeting with a potential new client and discuss potential collaboration, I am really honest when it comes to, I have my expertise in diabetes and cardiovascular diseases, but I am open to work also in other therapeutic areas. And, I think being open about, saying I have not really have any experience in this type of document, for example, is really good. It takes away a lot of pressure from me to deliver a potential, type of document that I am not familiar with to a client with very high expectations. So the risk there is then you disappoint your client, maybe, So I have learned that being really open and honest in terms of your expertise and what you have experiences is really great. It builds a certain trust between you and the client, and that builds a healthy long-term relationship that you want to have for a successful business.
I love that. I think honesty is so important, especially to set expectations in the very beginning, because
Yeah.
it's very tempting to just take on work because you really want to make your business work.
Exactly. And, sometimes I was thinking, wait, but from the marketing perspective, maybe I shouldn't say, okay, I have never done this before, but I have learned that to me, this is working the best, because this really takes away this pressure, as I said. So I think I would really recommend to do this. And maybe if I think about, very general advice that I was also thinking about a lot in the past year, was that how important it is to focus on your own path and to follow your own career and life goals. And, because I think when you're in a turning point in your career and maybe you're thinking about the next step to do, it is so easy to get distracted by what other people do. And, it can be difficult to go a path that is maybe not that common. For me, it was the freelancing. For example, when I think back when I was before I started, I was talking to a lot of people, telling them my idea, and I got some headwind there, because a lot of people actually said, wow, that's a risky step, this is not a safe job, what about your pension? And maybe you should go and start working as an employed medical writer first, and I understand this can lead to some doubts, if if you're at this turning point. And to me, it felt so right to take this step to go straight from academia into freelance medical writing. And looking back now, I am so happy that I have taken this step. And so, yeah, this is just a very, very general advice maybe I could give to somebody. Just, it is great to get advice, but always keep your own personality in mind and try to find the next career step, or even the way of daily working that suits your personality.
Yeah, it's so true. You need to think about the kind of lifestyle that you want and also the work that you'd be happy to do.
Yeah.
And so there are lots of advantages of being a freelancer. And so what would you say are your favorite things about being a freelancer? Are you working remotely? What country are you in right now? Do you travel? Do you enjoy going to events and seeing your clients? What kind of things would you say are your highlights of being a freelancer so far?
I think what I really, really love about being a freelancer is just having this freedom and responsibility. I love the freedom that I can choose who I'm working with and what I'm working at. But I also really like the responsibility. I know I am fully responsible for everything I am bringing out. And somehow it has given me such a great opportunity for self-development also, to starting really trusting myself, that I'm doing things good and right. And it's a great way for self-development to be a freelancer or to be self-employed. And yeah, and as you said, I like to kind of create my own way of work-life balance. There are different phases in life, and if I feel like, okay, I have so much energy, I want to work, I just take a lot of projects and I just work. And sometimes I'm happy to work also during weekends. But then there may be other phases where I'm happy to, take a bit less of work and to maybe enjoy life a little bit more and have a break every now and then. So
Yeah.
that is what I really like. And of course, the remote working. I mean, I'm still kind of boring. I'm still in Düsseldorf. But I love that I have the opportunity to basically take my little office and travel with it.
I like that with your portable office, and
Exactly.
you could be in Dusseldorf one day and somewhere else another day, and you have that flexibility to do that. So, yay, Germany! I'm based in Pinneberg right now, so it's nice to speak to someone else who's also based in Germany.
Okay.
And in Germany, there's a running joke where you have to have insurance for everything. So you will understand this as well. So what kind of insurance did you have to get as a freelancer?
Well, I immediately got the business insurance. So I
Yeah.
think this is really important, so that, in case something happens or you at some point cannot, provide the work because you get sick, or I don't know, just to back up yourself and being safe there. I think this is important, despite, of course, all the other private insurance that you should have as a German citizen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I've looked at the types of insurance, there are, there's a professional insurance, kind of
Yes.
like the business insurance, and then liability insurance as
Yes.
well, just in case.
Yeah.
Even though, it's less likely for something to happen when you're working remotely and you're not in an office or interacting with
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But it also, if your office is portable and then an accident happens, at least it covers
You
you for that
prefer to
kind of
have.
thing, and making sure you have a backup of what you need so that you can keep working. So
Yeah.
that's really important. So what would be your next step then? What's next on the horizon for you? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I think this answer is quite short because I feel like I'm really happy with what I'm doing now. I love being a freelance scientific and medical writer, and if I could wish for something, it would be to being able to continue doing this in the next few years. So, of course, I'm thinking about potential other, directions my business could be heading in the future, but I think I like to develop, slowly physiologic and, go with the flow a little bit. And yeah, so I really like things the way they are right now.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing everything that you've
Thank
shared with
you.
us today. And I'm sure I'll invite you again in future and then see how things have changed and what new directions you've gone in. Because I think,
Love that.
yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I will hopefully speak to you soon. And we will leave some links in the description below if you want to connect with Sophia on LinkedIn, and any other links that you'd like me to share, Sophia, just let me know. I'll put them in the description below.
Thank
So
you very much for the invitation, Virginia.
it was a pleasure. Thank you
What
so
is,
much for your
yeah,
time. Okay.
bye.
Bye.